Angle there, nice kick.
Here comes Jordan
come back with those hands again.
Hey, yo, your boys are back after a few weeks away.
Well, we used to say every week we're back, and we hadn't actually been anywhere. But like now we're back. We're really back because we have every episode now is followed by some length of hiatus.
I know. It's just busy. Both of us are just mental at the moment, which is good.
It's been mental in a super. Actually, it gets a lot more mental from here. But I don't know. It's just we talked about this a few weeks ago. I just been saying yes to everything this year.
Yep.
And
how's that going for you?
It's going. Look, it's going good. It's going well. But I don't know. The more you say yes to, the more there is to do. But honestly, it's fucking sick.
Yeah.
I've been everywhere this year.
That's it. It's it's that song, I've been everywhere, man. It's you're going to be end of the year for sure, going to be like that.
Yeah. But I want to keep going.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Cool. So, just little recaps of so you were in Radelaide last week.
I was in the party cap. Was that only last week, right?
Yeah, it was last week, yeah. For Pride.
Pride Fight Series.
A couple of things you did down there, cornered Kayla and Rosie. You did the Ring Lovers podcast, which you can catch out. That was a good podcast. I actually enjoyed that, so catch that as well.
You liked it? Yeah. Well, if you want to, if you have 2 hours to kill, are obsessed with me, want to hear me talk more, that I go into detail about what the show was like down there and how the Sitoton girls went, which was really good. Just to give the high level here. Carly did a sweet job with Pride. I thought it was sick. It was really nice to actually properly meet Carly. Well, she was a little bit busy, but she went out of her way to come and say hello, which I appreciate. Saw her at the show. She was killing it. Her team were really, really good. Well organised. Venue was cracker. Venue was really, really cool. One of the cooler venues I've been to recently. And also, it's cool to go somewhere like South Australia. You realise how spoiled you are. We have so many cool shows in Sydney and Melbourne now.
And it's just the norm.
Yeah. But it's cool to go somewhere it's not, I suppose, dissimilar to the vibe I got when I went to Torquay for Soul. And it's cool to go somewhere that doesn't always get a marquee show, and the way that the whole kind of sporting community of that local area is really getting behind it. The place was packed. I'm pretty sure they sold out.
Nice.
Crowd was super into it. Lots of locals versus interstaters kind of fights. My homies from Bones were there too. So I had a mad old time in Adelaide.
Go back again though.
Yeah, I'll give it another look. I'll go back for Pride again.
And so just there's bits and pieces kind of episode, eh? So
just to catch up.
I guess because next weekend 1774, so you probably won't hear us next week.
You might.
We might get something, but maybe not. Maybe
might be just one of us or something.
But even after that, you're going to Stradbroke Island.
I am finally.
Nice.
Thank you, Sandy, for. It's cool. Really, really cool. I guess suppose for those, just if you're interested. Sandy, who we've had on the podcast before, runs Superjai Gym and the Quandamuka Cup suicide prevention. She's been doing awesome things up there in Stratty for years. A great cause. I wouldn't really do it justice explaining it, to be honest, but a beautiful story that a lot of people in the Muay Thai community will be aware of, and it's really worth looking into if you're not. That's Superjai Gym, Quandamuka Cup. Unfortunately, for a couple of reasons, Sandy will have to close the gym. So they're going to send it off with a bit of a sparring day kind of thing, and bring him in as a guest, which I'm super grateful to even be considered for. But I've been talking to Sandy about going there for years, actual years, and still on what will be the final day. She was just that committed to finally making it happen. And a lot of it was, I would have gone up before. There was lots of, I was going to do it after lockdowns were coming and the way things have been, but still I'll finally get to make it happen that weekend, which I'm really, really excited for. I'm excited to finally see it up there and have a look, and some other special guests to be announced, some actual special guests. I'm just a guest to be announced. It's going to be super, super fun. They'll do some content and stuff up there. I'll
of course
give you a look in.
It's
looks
like a nice part of the world anyway.
I think it's going to be sick. I'm really appreciative that anyone ever wants me to go anywhere. I don't blame them if they don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm excited for that too.
So that's in June, yeah?
Nah, that's like the weekend after.
The weekend afterwards? So yeah, the last weekend.
Yeah, last weekend of May.
Yeah, okay, so about 27th, 28th. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. That sounds like good fun. Nice. What else is going on from there? So like, actually, yeah. Like, so we had the IFMAs has just been going on at the moment from there.
Yeah, busy run for the Aus team this time around.
Yeah, Aus team's going really good from there. So like at the moment, like, you know, Shannon Gardner.
She's killing it,
Oh, she looked great.
Yeah,
in this
she's
one.
a fucking gun.
Zoe Puderak, they both achieved golds. It's like
not the first gold for Zoe either.
Nah, just racking them up.
Yeah.
and so she had a couple of fights as well, and then on the last time she meant to fight the girl from Turkey. Turkey or Miss Waste, so like, you know, it's unfortunate they didn't get to see that last match. So Zoe won by default, but like, Zoe was pretty good otherwise.
Not the way she wants to win. And very well deserving of the gold medal regardless. But yeah, I know. I feel for Zoe because I know what a competitor she is, and she wouldn't want to see it go this way. But but regardless of circumstance, a well deserving gold medal and a very, very serious claim for the best in the world at that weight right now.
For sure. Other medalists was so silver medalist had Nicole Lowe Tarbert from High Impact.
Seen her on the scene for quite.
It's
some
like
time,
I do remember like back in the day.
Yeah, I remember her.
She racked up a fair bit of experience from there, and even like, you know, just realised how young she is because like I think she's still in the under 23 category for this one. So like, I go, oh man.
Oh yeah, when she was
super young.
I used to see her fight on shows. Yeah, she was a real baby, 16, 17 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, and she had like same thing. She had two really good fights, dominating the clinch, especially in the last match. She lost. I can't remember which country it was that she fought, but like but I think an awesome run to get the silver in that category.
Cool little setup at the IFMAs this year. Yeah, looked like it was a really nicely put together event. Looked a little bit more like like a lot of the time the IFMAs in Bangkok are in that outdoor.
Oh yeah.
Thingy. Yeah, it looked like really classy. That commentary. My mate Joe Comerford.
Oh yeah.
He was doing a bit of the commentary. It was cool to see. Little.
When you watch the matches, you forget because, like, you know, I think it's almost like three rings right beside each other, and the commentary, you can hear the commentary is actually broadcasted out into the crowd as well. Yeah. So you can hear from the other ring. It seems like a bit like an almost organised chaos, and you hear a bell ring, and then you see the judge go, the ref go, no, keep going.
Yeah.
Adds a little bit more spice to it.
Oh, there's a lot going on. You got to be. I think that's why the IFMAs are such good experience, in that there is just so much to manage, from weighing in every day to just kind of the chaos of going through getting in the ring day after day, all the moving around, people from different countries everywhere. Like I think that's why like these countries that really go all in on the tournament thing or the amateur thing. Get so good because you just get so used to, like, you can just, like, if you can manage that, you can get woken up in the middle of the night, thrown straight into a ring, and you can just, like, the ability, the way that you have to just be able to turn your focus on regardless of all the external stuff, it's like, it's a really impressive thing. Not something I've ever done.
Yeah.
Really impressive thing from the outside.
And I imagine it'd be one of those things as well, like, you know, everyone's skill level is pretty decent, and like when you get into, like, you know, second, third, fourth fight, from there it just becomes more of like just that mental game.
It's a test of will. And it's also like I rate the Aussies hugely in this setting, because you think about how little, like, I will never forget my brother Luke Thompson when he went to the IFMAs. You know, he had 7 fights to his name and he couldn't find any opponents in Australia. Like that was the only way for him to rack up experience, and like he got a walk through at the nationals because there was no competition. There was competition, but they didn't fancy Anyway, that's a story for another time. Well, it's not actually. It's years ago. You're a fucking pussy. But like he was there. Like he ended up fighting for the gold with Turkey, and the Turkish guy had to go through 3 tournaments to qualify to get on that team, just within Turkey. So he had more experience just in getting to that tournament than Luke had in his entire career. And that is not dissimilar to the situation that a lot of people find. Like our Australian team, like the reality of just there's less people here. We can't just hop over to another country like it's nothing to rack up more of this. We don't fight in the format a lot. We are at a disadvantage the second that we get there, but our guys always have a really good go. We're one of the smaller teams.
Yeah.
Always on the board for medals. I think it's sick. I think it's a really sick example of just what Australian Thai boxing is. We don't have the resources that a lot of these other countries have, but we hold our own with them always.
Yeah, because I think there was about, I'll go through it a bit more as well, but I think there was 8 of 9 of us in there, and 6 of them medalled from there. So it's a really good ratio for the team, and especially when you go, like I said, experience-wise, you can't even hold a candle to Europe and all that. Nah. They're just because every weekend they're just fighting different types of tournaments as well.
Yeah. But even when our guys don't win, they don't get outclassed.
Yeah. They're not getting smashed out there. Yeah. It's some pretty competitive efforts.
Yeah, and I know, for some reason, the cool thing in Australian Muay Thai is to say everything sucks, but I back us on the world stage. I think Australia's a great country for Thai boxing when you factor in, equated for population.
Yeah,
I think we fucking kill it.
Yeah,
on the world stage, especially because IFMA Muay Thai is a different game. We have a good professional Muay Thai scene in Australia, but there's very little presence of that amateur Muay Thai format, that Olympic format, if you will. It's a lot of these guys are getting their feet wet in at the world level against people who that's their whole sport. They are in much more a boxing style. They're amateurs yet to go professional that are just doing this dozens and dozens of times. You just have to adjust to a new format. Something that takes you have to fight a different style to score. It's a whole different points game. It's chalk and cheese, really, to what you do on a pro show. And our guys still just jump in there and have a go.
Had a good go.
I reckon it's hectic.
Yeah, it was no. There was just a couple of stands. I really liked Dylan. I think he's from Boonchu, one of the young fellas out here. He looked really good. He got a bronze medal. Shannon's brother, Sam Gardner, it's didn't medal, but he had I think he ended up having 3 fights and still didn't get to the podium. There's still lost more in his division, I guess. But
he's in a busy weight class, and he stepped up a few times now. Even on the Australian scene. Fights a lot of guys way out of his experience bracket. No,
but he's he got up to the 3rd round. Looked really good in there.
Legend.
Who else? Other one that bronze medal was Michaela. She medaled from there. Just had the 1 fight though. And someone I'm always impressed with Brioni Sodden.
Coming along very well. Hey,
she's every time she hits the ring, she looks a lot better. She's kind of finding her style and mixes it up really well. I'm really happy to see her progress going through. She looked great.
And again, back in Australia, has fought out of her experience level many times now, and he's coming along super well. So one to watch for sure.
So something it's like you said, a lot of these guys that they're really at the start of their career because the experience level is just so minuscule compared to the rest of the world,
and a great chance to just see how other countries do it. And you get the rub. You feel what these more experienced nations are doing and see how they work with their coach. It's just a fantastic exposure to the world of Thai boxing and how people do, how certain nations do things differently, how more experienced fighters operate. And a great chance to rack up heaps of experience
from there. And so going off of that as well, especially with the New South Wales and ACT athletes from there. So, because I said on the board of Muay Thai New South Wales from there was all the events we've been doing. Yeah. Just getting all the events we've been doing, the memberships and things like that. And just making sure it's not for profit. It's where it's going to. So it's actually awesome that we're in a position now that we gave all our New South Wales and ACT athletes a grant, $1,000 each to help them with their travel.
Yeah,
they deserve it, and it's just awesome that we got in a position to do that. We also gave a metal grant. So we gave $500 to Zoe for getting gold, and we gave $250 to Nicole for getting silver. Yeah. And also it's just for officials because
that was super cool.
We got Floss and Justine over there, and the same thing. That's I talked to Floss a little bit, and she's just saying the amazing experience over there in terms of because you get to rub shoulders with all the top officials at IFMA and learn the craft and actually be on the stage a bit as well and get that. And we also gave them $1,000 each as well for just going out there and kind of furthering their knowledge and just helping grow the sport.
Yeah, and another one I think we have mad officials in New South Wales. Again, I know it's uncool to just say the place that you live is good. and it doesn't suck. But like, obviously there's still work to do, but you got to effectively like trainee officials saying, I want to learn about officiating so badly that I will pay out of pocket to travel around the world and go and officiate at the World Games. Like, we've got, I don't want to, when I say they're trainee officials, I just mean they've not been doing it that long. They're really good, of course. When you got people approaching officiating the way fighters approach fighting, that's a pretty incredible thing, and an incredible testament to just the passion for Thai boxing that we have in New South Wales. I think, and to see people, two things: to see someone put their hand up and say, "Let me go over there and give this a go at my own expense," and then to have MNSW say, "Let us help you a little bit with that." I reckon that's sick. And it's not how things were a few years ago.
Nah, definitely not. It's like, it's hard. Like, it's just like, when kind of first starting and kind of this game, like, it's not something I ever imagined will ever happen. There. But like, it's just good. Like, it's got a great board, man. Like, you got Lewis on there. Andrew Parham's always he's the leader. He's like, basically, he's got all the ideas, and then also got Trevor Lawler there. So like, and like the hard work's paying off. It took a lot of hard work, a bit of resistance from people outside of it as well. But like, it's kind of showing the merit now, which is awesome. And especially with the officials going through, like, I think like someone like Floss and Justine, it's like you look up to, like, Trevor and Ellie said did all that stuff on their own dime for how long. And it's like, you can't be helped but inspired by it and just go, if these guys did it this way, then I should take the same path.
Fucking Elias, man. I swear he goes overseas for 5 minutes sometimes. Like, he was at the IFMAs for a bit. But the games are still going. I saw him in the gym. Like, where'd you be back on?
It's like, how do you find this time? Go back and forth.
It's mad though. Like, Elias is a good example. Like I say, he did it on his own dime for a long time, and now he's a superstar. So goes over to one championship all the time.
Oh, mate. Jets, like those freaking flyer miles, mate. Get himself in that business lounge.
He'll be able to afford a hand transplant.
So think about like going forward, but like, for people out there, especially like, I can only talk for about New South Wales and ACT. Like, if we want to help athletes out, so get yourself to nationals. If you think you're good enough and you want to represent Australia, like from there, like we will help athletes out. We're looking at budgeting for the juniors. They're going to Turkey later this year. Like, I got one of my own guys in there, Zach.
He's good.
And there's a couple other guys as well, like from New South Wales. So we're looking at the budget to help them. So like, same thing. But if you want to do that, you got to go through the pathways a little bit, which is kind of what we've just been setting up. And there's also the nationals as well. Looking forward to it, really.
Exciting times. And this is like, I don't know, I've been thinking about this a lot recently. It's just not too, like, I don't know when it became uncool. Like when did like just being wholly pessimistic about the environment just become the thing? Like, I look at Muay Thai, and I know in New South Wales especially, I know it's not perfect, but like, how can you not say the future's looking bright?
There must be like 2,000 emos that are stuck.
Too many. I mean, fuck. Like, I'm the king emo, but like,
I don't mind chemical romance.
I don't know. I just like, I look at having, first starting to get a little look in probably a decade ago. It's like a whole different game now. I don't know.
I don't see anything but positives. Like, and not just, I look outside the state as well, like Melbourne, Perth, Queensland. Like I think it's going pretty good.
Again, just comes back to the idea. Like, just got back from a cracker show in South Australia. Like, I don't know, things are going well. It's like I don't know when. It's just the reason I was thinking about it is because I was just thinking. I started to train with our new trainer, formerly Pragasang Dayangadal. Pragasang and I was like, how crazy is it that like you got at our gym 2 elite level Thai trainers, and another gym 15 minutes away there's about 6. Like, just the presence of elite level Thai boxing in New South Wales right now is fucking wild. Like, it's seriously crazy. Like, and like, it's for some reason cool to be like, Australian Muay Thai sucks and New South Wales Muay Thai sucks or whatever. But like, I don't know, how about you just be a little bit like, why don't you look at what's happened and what's happened compared to some time ago and realize that like a group of really good people really starting to put action into making improvements is having a tangible payoff. And if you just stop whinging and start actually contributing to the way forward,
Yeah.
things get better. They don't get better immediately.
No.
But they get better over the course of years.
Mm-hmm.
And like years might go by and things will look better and you'll still be on the fucking sideline just nitpicking at what's not. And that's not to point at anything that happened in particular. I just think it was a thought I had the other day. When did it become cool to just think everything around you sucks?
Yeah. It's like, I don't get it. But like, imagine a lot of those people as well that say that sucks, that they don't actually get involved in the sport.
Oh,
Like, you know,
no, absolutely. It's a problem I've been having a lot this year. Is like all the people, like a lot of people have a little bit of fucking shit to say to me about what I should be doing, about what could be done, but they aren't doing anything. Like, I don't know what you want sometimes. It's just, why don't we just let ourselves think the future is bright?
yeah. Glass half full.
Look, if you think things are going to turn out shitty, they'll probably turn out shitty.
Yeah, that's like, you know,
Right.
like so whatever you put out, you get back.
100%.
Yeah.
If you're just like, look at the scene, look at how it used to be, look at how it is today, acknowledge the improvements, think about how you can contribute to improvements in the future, set the expectation, contribute. You'll probably find things get better because now you're going to, if you're actively participating, you're going to see the improvement.
Yeah.
If you're just sitting on the sideline looking for everything that's wrong, it's never going to look different to you.
Of course. Yeah. Well, that's just, that kind of reminds me of a point that I heard when you were talking about on the Ring Lovers podcast. From there, it's like, you know, just get involved. Like, you know, if you turn up somewhere like, yo, can I help put out the chairs? Can I, like, you know, can I be here? Like, you know, can I corner someone? Like, you know, just kind of get in there and like give some positive energy into it from there. And then, like, for sure, if you get amongst the scene, you'll see that it's like going in the right direction.
Have a go or shut your fucking mouth. That's what I think, you know, like I have had so many, and look, I'm guilty of it as much as anyone, and that's one of the reasons I've been thinking about it. Is I sit down and I talk Muay Thai with people who know Muay Thai, and we just bitch back and forth about everything we don't have.
Yeah.
Okay, we sometimes don't have all the resources we'd like in Australia, and that is by nature of being, you know, thinly populated and you know, all of our a lot of our, you know, resource hubs, if you will, being quite like geographically quite far away from each other. But that's the situation. That's the hand we're dealt. We have to make the most with what we've got.
Yeah.
And it is just, if you let everyone just always be discussing what's wrong, things never improve. What is the situation that we have? What's the best we could do? Because that's important as well, is to set parameters.
Yeah.
What can we actually do? Like, because if you're saying my aim is to have, you know, Thai boxing on free-to-air TV at prime time every day, you're probably going to be disappointed with the outcome. But if your goal is to just see 10% rise in athlete registrations every year,
Yeah.
that's probably a pretty achievable goal. You could set some pretty realistic actions, like, and at an individual level. Because that's the other thing is, like, how much do you want to contribute? I want to put on a sold-out show at Telstra Stadium. You're probably going to be disappointed.
Yeah. It's one of those ones where, same thing, you got to be in the trenches a bit.
You got to be in the fucking trenches.
You got to know, like, kind of know where, like, what's the logical steps.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's like, there's like, well, like at the moment, it's like, there's not a lot of ladies, like, in that beginning stage coming through. There's something in the process of that happening.
Yeah. And that's a big one. That's a big one.
They'll come through soon from there. But that's like, yeah, I'm really excited for that as well. Because, like, yeah, you know, like, it's funny, like, who's the medalist? Zoe,
yeah.
Shannon, Nicole, they're all girls, but we're not getting new participation from girls coming in.
Yeah, and well. there are so many. That's a good point, actually. I'm glad you raised that because it's an interesting one. Some of the conversations I've been having with some of the female Thai boxers across Australia recently, there's some really, really cool work being done to encourage that next generation. Because, as you say, really, who have been the best representatives of Australian Muay Thai on a global stage? Be that in the professional sense, like one championship, just in the kind of like the world title scene, and at the IFMAs, they're the women. So, like, that's the spotlight that we need to shine. Because it is kind of out, like, there are so many elite level Thai boxers for, you know, aspiring female fighters to look up to, that as a scene now we need to really spotlight and just showcase that success and encourage more. Because that's an interesting one as well. Because I think presence of, I mean, I'm not in every gym all the time. I'm in a lot of gyms actually. But I don't have I don't have everyone's member records on hand. I also don't run a gym or work in a gym, so I'm not that close to it. I'm just a bit of an know-it-all. I think participation. I mean, okay, you tell me. I know someone who runs a gym. You'd have a lot of female members.
Mate, no, it's less than 5%.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's jiu-jitsu is a little bit different, like kids in that.
Yeah.
But then you start to get the adults and it really peters down.
Okay, that's interesting. That's because I think about it's many more blokes.
Yeah.
But I think about an average night at Sitsoton, we have a lot of female members.
Yeah.
But I don't think we have a lot of female prospective fighters, and it's it's probably, I don't know. I go back and forth on this because it's not really mine to talk about, right? In that it's not really something I suppose I can intricately understand. But I try to talk to our female fighters, or I'm quite close friends with a lot of female fighters, and I do talk about this kind of thing with them a lot. It's like, what is the missing piece to kind of converting a gym member? I mean, look, not everyone wants to fight, regardless, and that's blokes as well. But it does feel like it feels like female participants, female gym members, are not really seeing it as a clear pathway the way that their male counterparts do. So I wonder, what the kind of and I don't want to talk on it too much because I know some work's being done to create content on this by people who know what they're talking about. So but I also think as we are an Australian Thai boxing podcast run by two blokes, it's pretty important. And you and I have sat down before and been talking about guests and shit like that and be like, fuck, we actually haven't had a female guest in 6 weeks or something. It's something that
we better put in the rotation.
It's not like it's probably important that.
And I probably think a lot of the female guests we have probably are the most interesting as well.
Massively. The episode with Dory was fucking hectic.
Yeah. Sure.
And it's so we have, it's a fascinating kind of discrepancy that our female Thai boxers are some of the very best on a global stage. Kim Townsend has
for sure
fucking more world titles than most people have had hot dinners. Diandra Martin, Davina Martin, Shannon Gardner, and it's not to leave anyone out. I could go on all day.
Every state.
I could go on all day.
Bunch of them,
There's heaps of them. You would think that would mean participation for, that you'd think that would mean all of these gyms would be packed full of women wanting to give it a go.
Yeah.
So what is it about the environments that we create that is not allowing for that? But at the same time, there's a lot of work. I think New South Wales might be one of the worst states at the moment.
Yeah, looking at participation rates at the moment for the amateurs, it's pretty abysmal for females. But but that's why that's kind of this call for action at the moment is going through. But like I said, it's a piece of puzzle that we're not figuring out, and maybe just our male brains are just not wired.
That's what I think too. That's what I think too, and that's why I'm conscious of not talking on this too much because
don't mansplain me.
An easy one to come back is you actually just have, I think this a lot is I see lots of times where it's a couple of blokes sitting around, which is exactly what this is, talking about this is how do we why aren't the women participating? And then you've got gyms full of women if you just ask me, I'll tell you.
Yeah. I'm trying to think here.
That it's I think that is the crux of the problem is not all, the majority of gyms are run by men.
Yeah, that's fair.
Majority of the coaching teams are men.
I always find as well, because even for us, for example, don't really have a lot of girls. The teams that I look at that have a really good girl presence from there's always a strong female leadership,
a role. Team, even if it's not a trainer, just a team captain
Yeah.
of sorts, you know.
Well, you got to have the people. You got your Sarai's to look up to. You got the Martin sisters from there. You got like Dory and all that. Like they're and like same thing like Yolanda from PTJ.
Yeah,
there's a lot of strong figures, and you can see like there's a team built underneath.
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
And like I think that's one thing, but it's like it's definitely not the whole puzzle though.
Yeah, and that's like I think as involved, man, like one of the biggest points to things like just talk less and listen more.
True.
Like, you know, like that is, and that's not just this. That's for a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Like we can sit here and theorize back and forth as two people who have no fucking idea. We can go and talk to someone. Really like talk to like when you've got a member that's starting to, you know, when someone looks like they could make that. It's decision time. Are you going to just keep training for fitness, or you've kind of got your fundamentals? Would you like to
get a little nudge?
Well, just ask the question. Are you interested in it? If not, why? And see what the answers that come back is. And sometimes and also that it's like, you also have to be able to listen to this in a way where you will take a look where you'll take a look at your own behavior and the behavior that you tolerate and the behavior that you know, because it's
it could be like it's like it's open that can of worms where like it's like not even like the things like it's like is it because I want to compete or not, or like who I'm looking up to. Could be just the culture of your gym. Could
be the culture of the gym. It's to be like I can't, and you'll be surprised like as men who have never had to deal with it, you'd be surprised the answers you hear back. I've asked people if they'd like to fight. They said I thought only dudes did that. Still, you know, but then look at like if these are people that are not close to the sport as a whole and they only see the gym, and it's like, all right, fighters jumping in clinch, and it's just 12 dudes with their shirts off throwing each other around. They, you know, like you have to step back sometimes and build that pathway, that welcoming sort of pathway, and of course that's why having kind of like an established female fighter in the gym is very helpful. But yeah, again, really not mine to talk on, but at the same time not something. Well, I think both of us care a lot about it. Hearing that there's 20 amateur fights on a show and no female Red Joes sucks. And it sucks because like Kayla and Rosie are both really good examples of sick fighters, sick Thai boxers. I want them to have as many opportunities as they can possibly get. I'd hate to think that they're just sitting idle on the sidelines because they train better than anyone else in the gym.
So you just don't want to, like, the ones that want to fight don't want to be left in limbo. And they're like you're seeing, like you're getting some girls, they're signing up, but there's no one to fight. And
and that sucks. Sucks.
And that's like for them to go, well, why am I training this hard for like this? Like, I'm just gonna like not get matched.
Especially because I think I even think the last time we were here I said this, like how impressive it is to see how far our female Thai boxers in Australia go without any of the same kind of opportunities that their male counterparts get. Like, I speak very, very, very highly all the time of Diandra for good reason. Look at her going over to America. 14 fights in her whole career.
Yeah. It's like nothing.
Crazy. And the speed that they don't have, like we were talking about this with Dory, weren't we? I think it was when we were talking to Dory. That like how quickly they have to step right up to that true professional phase. They don't get 30 fights to warm up. Oftentimes it's less than 10.
Just get thrown straight in.
Yeah, and they bridge that gap. It's incredible. But we can't just look at that success and start to sleep. Like, we have to keep building the pathways so we can put our best foot forward all the time. Like, I think, I'm super, super impressed with the level of particularly female Thai boxing in Australia, because I know the background circumstances so closely. All of the disadvantages that come with not being able to get the same amount of experience and the exposure that comes so early. Yeah, it's definitely something got to look into from there. At the moment, from there, I don't know what they're doing down at Muay Thai Victoria down there, but they seem to be doing a really good job. Well, that's doing a really good job. And it's kind of like we are following a somewhat similar format here now, so hopefully we'll see more participation. But even like down at Pride, I think they had female fights and ended up going unmatched. That was initially how we got someone. I don't know. I was put in touch with. I know. I sent it to my trainer. We've got 6 or 7 girls to match. Where are all the girls in Australia? That's how we both ended up. That's how we ended up with both the girls down there.
Yeah.
So it's obviously there's pockets of it. It's just like it's not. It seems to kind of peaks and valleys. It's not consistent like the ongoing male participation is. So look, an interesting talking point. And I'd love to hear from any of our female listeners. I assume we have some. What are your, where did I go wrong in what I just said? What am I missing? What do we need done differently? I'd love to chat about it.
Just some straight up.
Most importantly, what can we do to help? What can we do to push things in the right direction? Because there has, like, what brought us onto this topic to begin with, there's always something.
Yeah, but definitely something to look towards for sure. And send us over some stuff, some feedback or critiques, whatever. And
I'd be interested in critiques, because actually, like, I get them anyway. I mean, no, and I always appreciate them, but people are not shy at all with them, which is cool because people aren't shy with their praise either. So that's fine.
Go give a take.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I get only praise and I get no critiques, then I just assume the praise is unwarranted. So it's cool. But yeah, the biggest one is like the ratio of female to male guests. I've been called out on that before, and that's
fair enough. Then
that's fair.
It's like I lined up the female guests. I was going, that's like I got that already in the books. That one,
cool.
But other than that, definitely.
But I think in terms of like, it's something that I love female Muay Thai anyway, because I love Muay Thai.
Cool. Everyone's got an interesting story.
Yeah,
and that's what we're going for.
I try to give ample coverage. I don't think you could really criticise. I don't feel we've ever neglected to cover high-end female fights. We've neglected to cover just some fights altogether. But I think
that's male and female.
Yeah, that's just laziness. It's not laziness.
Just can't cover them all.
Chaos. Yeah. And try to support whatever I can in terms of I think Muay Thai League are doing sick things for female Muay Thai.
For sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's one I've thought about a lot recently, and I've had some fascinating conversations with.
Yeah.
Some people that are closely involved.
Okay, cool.
Probably one to talk on.
I'll be interested to revisit this in about 6 months and see how it's progressed from there.
Yeah, it'd be cool. And I've got a few guest ideas actually.
Cool. Nice. Always looking for new interesting guests to talk to.
Yeah.
All right. So let's look at the second part now, because like I said, we might be here next week. We're not really,
really we do whatever we want.
Yeah.
So.
It's like when you're top dogs. You just you want. So 1774 is on May 20th.
Yeah. Busy fucking day.
Big day, because and not just the pro card that is 1774. Also the Muay Thai NSW Amateur Series.
25 fights.
Whew, I think it got whittled down a little bit now to 22. But it's going to be a busy ass day, man.
Oh my God.
I think I got 5 or 6.
Really?
Yeah, on the amateur.
That's cool.
Yeah, just people putting up their hands and having a dig, and I go, all right. And they survived it. So I go, all right, you can fight then.
Yeah, cool.
From there, so that's a pretty busy one. And then in the evening, the Cobra. Kai's fighting Darren Chen. Big step up.
Yeah, but big step up.
Love it though. It's just these type of fights always says just really put a fire in the ass and just brings the best out of training sessions.
Yeah. It is an interesting match. I think Kai probably had his first real step up in his last fight against Carter, who is a common opponent of the two.
And first 5-rounder as well.
Yeah, first 5-rounder, and I feel I don't think I was on any of the recap episodes for that one. It was probably a good learning experience. I felt him watching that fight. Carter is quite good. He plays the points pretty strategically. He's very good at staying just ahead.
Yep.
That's why he's had a couple of draws, I feel, because he's
played it a little bit too close.
Yeah, played it. He plays it pretty close, and I thought I thought he outgamed Kai in that fight just from rewatching it. I've only watched it the once, but it was one of those fights that I think Carter was scoring points quite cheeky. I think in a lot of times he was beating Kai.
There's sometimes I noticed when he's found the knees just holding there a little bit more, things like that. I'd say fair enough.
I often felt he was beating Kai, and at times Kai didn't even really know he was being beaten. Like very very crafty scores. But then Carter is quite smart. He knew what he was doing, and he played a very good 5-round game. He sort of just warmed up for 2, scored very well, the 3rd and the 4th, and then just did what he had to do in the 5th. Darren's also fought Carter. The two of them fought to a draw a couple of years ago now. Man, I don't even remember that fight that well, to be honest. I remember thinking at the time that Darren.
I think there's a little bit like a contention from both sides here.
Well, that'll be how it is with a draw.
but like a little bit louder than it should have been, kind of thing.
Yeah. Look, I thought I could watch it back and think differently. I thought Darren won that fight pretty comfortably, to be honest. It's an interesting one. You know, Darren's been in. He's always around at a sort of mostly within New South Wales. Kind of like
he's done a few there, but mostly
couple. Yeah, who did he fight last?
Oh, I can't remember.
That's how well researched I am.
Was it 1774? The French boy.
Could have been that.
Yeah.
And he had a good fight.
Yassine?
Against Yassine, yeah. That was a cool fight to watch. Darren right kicks really nicely. I really like his right kick. It's going to be... I also think... Darren might be a decade older than Kai.
Maybe.
I think it's something like that.
Kai only turned 21 like about a month ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Darren's 9 or 10 years older than Kai is. So it's a little bit of that youth versus experience thing. Darren's had a lot more fights. Darren spent some time in Thailand, but Kai's super young and freakishly tall. So yeah, it's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's like one I really look forward to because it's same thing. It's one of those matches where it's like either way, it's like like the training itself leading up to it is really good, and it's like it's just all experience and just build on top of it.
Yeah,
from there. So either way, how it goes from there. Yeah, I know Kai's going to put his best foot forward.
Of course,
look good. Yeah. Other ones on that one because it's a massive fucking card.
Huge card.
Like that one. So we've probably only got a couple. Is there a couple on there that you got your eye on? Like especially like from your position that you're not actually on the card.
Yeah, but fuck, like
you're still doing some things.
Oh my god! Like I got a message from Matt Williams.
Yeah.
He said, "Are you joining me on commentary?" I said, "Fuck, you think they're going to let me do a fun job?" No fucking way. I'll probably be cleaning the toilets. Yeah, I'm going to have a lot to do. I might be, I actually have no idea.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to be there at about 8 in the morning. I'm going to be home at midnight.
Yeah. You doing officiating as well?
Yeah. Nice. But look, I'd love to commentate if anyone would let me. But sometimes you just get dealt the worst hand by your own dudes.
The bosses just going to put it like, well, yes.
Last time I was at one of these shows that I wasn't fighting on, I was fucking serving donuts.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Let's go, hey, you're on the donut side of things.
It sucks. Nah, it'd be cool. Which ones do you want to talk about? Do you want to work down?
Yeah, sure.
Ibrahim.
Yeah.
Is that I actually don't know the order of the fights.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what the order of the fights are either.
Ibby versus Thomas. He would be close to the main event, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, like, because there is a couple titles on this one.
There's a couple titles too, yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter what order we talk about. That's the first one that came to mind for me.
Yep. Thomas from Venom training camp.
Yeah. This is a cool fight. French boy. Step up for Ibby, who's on an absolute tear within Australia.
Well, it's almost that time where it's like there's not many people left.
Nah, not at that weight. I know what one camp would say.
Yeah. But until it happens,
yeah. But he's on a tear. And has cracked the WBC world rankings now, so starting to look at international opponents. Thomas, a French boy based out of Venom, which is an incredible camp. in Pattaya.
Who's out here at the moment doing the seminar at your place?
Mehdi Zatut.
yeah.
Well, he'll be here during the week with the fighters.
Nice.
So that'll be sick. Oh, actually, yeah, that's a good one. If you want to come, you should. There's still a couple spaces if you're in Sydney. Thursday, this coming Thursday at 6:30 p.m. If you want to learn from Mehdi Zatut.
Team Martial Arts.
Yep. 172 Princess Highway, Arncliffe. Just chat to the gym if you want to register. We'll take everyone.
Cool.
It's pretty full though. It's limited spaces. I think there's 5 left.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want one, you can message me. I'll figure it out for you. But you can message Jim if you want to cut out the middleman because that's all I'm gonna do. Yeah, Mehdi Zatut's coming. Incredible trainer. He has built a world-leading camp over there, and a lot of Europeans based there. A lot of high-level ties. Massive presence of fighters from Iran out of Venom too. And Mehdi's an awesome trainer. Thomas, I've watched fight a few times. I think this will be an interesting match. He's an aggressive southpaw, very much that European style, quite high volume. I suppose kind of like hybrid. You know, has fought some K1 as well. Quite an opposite sort of style to Ibi. This is something of a stylistic clash of that. The other thing with Thomas is he's been doing the 3-round thing over in Thailand. Recently fought Narak on Raja World Series. So I've been doing the 3-round, push the pace, aggressive thing. We know Ibi likes to play off the back foot, pick his scores, really good at just kind of playing a numbers game and just staying ahead, kick, move, not get into too much of a squabble, just do his work and get moving. So it'll be interesting to see Ibi. Ibi's also fought a number of ties recently. And Thomas kind of has that style of someone who's been fighting ties, likes to overwhelm, to kind of like be physically imposing, throw at that little bit of high volume, not get stuck into playing a points game. So I suppose you could say Thomas has made a game out of negating the style that Ibrahim uses very well. So a good test to the extent of Ibi's abilities, but Ibi has really come forward as one of the top Thai stylists in Australia right now. We know he's looking up, wants to get himself overseas and start looking for that international title. So interesting fight. I like it. I'm really looking forward to seeing Thomas fight live and the Venom crew in Australia. I like it. A very good international match.
Nice.
What else we got?
So we've got previous guests. There's a lot of previous guests on this card. But Josh McCulloch, versus Pet Samrit from Karsok?
Pet Samrit, from Karsok. Another interesting one. Look, just the size these guys are. They'll often fight ties.
Of course.
Little fellas. Pet Samrit last fight was against Ibi. Actually, over in WA. Aggressive. He's got good elbows. That was a 3-rounder with Ibi, and Ibi stayed just ahead. A couple of takedowns made the difference. I feel he actually was interesting. Pet Samrit came out very, very aggressive against Ibi. Like really tried to walk him down.
Tried to do the 3-rounder kind of pace.
A bit, but kind of came out guns blazing and gave Ibi some trouble early, but ran out of ideas is the best way. I would put it. And Ibi started to settle into scoring the point. So a very different stylistic match against Josh McCulloch. Josh McCulloch loves this
high energy.
He's got a ridiculous engine. Incredible finishing instinct. Good knockout fighter. So could very well. Let's see. If Pet Samrit comes out the same way, it could be a brawl from the get-go. But can Pet Samrit keep up with Josh for 5 rounds?
It'll be a bit hard to put out the fire at Josh.
My guess is no.
Yeah.
Right, so maybe he comes out looking for an early stoppage, or maybe he just plays a different game. And maybe he tries to counter the forward pressure. I understand why Pet Samrit tried to run Ibi down. Ibi likes to play the counter game, but Josh is going to come to you as well.
Yeah.
So do you clash with him, or do you change your tactic?
Trying to score and stall.
So another interesting style match, and
Be more so, yeah, more so to see what actually Petson employs, so, because everyone knows what Josh is about. So.
Yeah. He's a difficult man to beat, but you kind of know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
So.
Fair enough.
Well, you know what he's going to do, but can he do anything about it?
Well, that's it. One way to find out.
Yep.
So speaking about the girls before, so we got like the rematch happening.
I like this fight.
Allegra Vickers versus Katie Mitchell.
Cool ass
for
fight.
the WBC super featherweight state title.
Yeah.
And like after the two definitely different fighters from their last fight as well, both on a very good trajectory in their careers as well.
Katie, I have said a few times. One of the fastest improving fighters in Australia. Since she has started training with Machete, with Reece Saliba, just
a very
completely different fighter.
Strong team as well.
Yeah,
they're building there.
Reece is a very, very, very good trainer. You can tell by the way the fighters that he's putting out from scratch, but also how much he's helped Katie and Cody improve since they've moved there. He's obviously a really, really, really good trainer. I believe Katie would have already been at Machete the first time she fought Allegra, but I don't think Allegra was at SRG. So that's interesting. Allegra is now training for SRG. I commentated Allegra's fight recently. She just almost murdered someone in the clinch. Got
a strong grip on her.
Yeah. So I think that's an adjustment that she's made since being with Lewis and the team. Really become a Muaythai stylist. Very strong, very confident clincher, which I feel before she was a little bit more of a volume fighter. Kind of stayed on the outside and kicked. Very long, built to clinch for sure. Honestly, they're quite similar builds, aren't they?
Yeah,
tall and long.
Tall and long. Like I wouldn't say that one's got like a huge advantage height-wise or anything over each other.
Yeah. Katie as well has just become, a much better structured Thai boxer since working with Reece. She's really stylistically changed a lot from what I would probably call a little bit more of a kickboxing style in the past to a fully equipped Thai boxer, and has had some amazing performances. Went 5 rounds with Vic Sullivan.
Yeah, decent.
In a really, really good performance. Hung really well with a world level fighter. This is a great match. I think they've both they had a close fight. Did we commentate that?
No, I don't think. I didn't commentate it.
Maybe I did. I was definitely there. I don't know what I was doing. I've commentated in that venue many times. However, so they fought. They had I think a 3-rounder last time.
Yeah.
Super close, super competitive. Katie got the win. They both, in not that long, have improved leaps and bounds and both been all over Australia fighting good opposition. And now we'll fight again for a very deserving state title. So, yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah, definitely one to watch for.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, going from there, so for the WBC Australian middleweight title from there.
This is a good one.
Cody Jamison versus Josh West. From there, so yeah, as before, same from the same camp as Katie from Machete Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And then we have Josh West from Nukzu. Yeah, Muay Thai. Up in the top end.
Up in the top end, yeah. Yeah, Josh is an interesting one, I think. Once you get into sort of far North Queensland, there's a few shows up there, and a good scene. But a little bit tucked away sometimes. Yeah. So some of these guys rack up some experience and are really good, and like Josh. But it's cool to see him coming down to a Sydney show, get a little bit of that right. I know he spent some time in Thailand recently.
Yeah.
Had a few fights there. To call a spade at a very low level. But regardless, racking up training experience. He did the Raja Day show thing and fighting a lot in Chiang Mai. A good knockout fighter, a southpaw, quite busy with his hands. Can pick a fight ending shot. Has fought a bit in little gloves, which is quite interesting as to what that means for how that changes a style. Can make you a little bit more active in terms of your defense. Can improve your shot selection because you can't get away with a bad shot. You got to be on target in those little gloves. Cody, of course, is on an absolute tear. He's actually booked to fight Jay.
Yeah, not so
after
long
this already after this. So Josh is potentially in a position where he can play spoiler a little bit
Yeah, good.
This is the title recently vacated by Jay Tonkin. So, it's good to see. Cody's one of these fighters, and we talked to him about it. People say he's got to fight, sort of got to step up a level in opposition, and he wants to.
Yeah.
It's like completely out of his control. So, Josh is a good step up. It's an interesting style match, the way that, Cody's just been body kicking everyone to death. Opposite stance matchup. Which always, is an interesting thing as to how that...
And especially like we Cody, been kicking really big lately, but also the body shots and Cody as well. Yeah,
the body work's incredible. Cody's a bit of a stance switcher too. Will switching into southpaw like that, the opening's a little bit different when you're fighting a southpaw. It's a fun style match. It's a guy that I feel is really going to come for Cody and give him a good crack. A really good... Look, this division is... Fuck, there's some shit coming up in this division, I tell you.
Yeah, it's building really nicely.
Yeah. Wait and see. Division's building really well, and this is a really interesting fight as far as what it means for the future. If Cody wins this and picks up the belt and then goes into the fight with Jay, that's a huge fight. Regardless, that's a huge fight. If Josh can beat Cody before Cody goes on to that fight, he really... I feel this is a fight for Josh that... who are people talking about at middleweight? Jay Tonkin, David Pettenpede, James Honey, these guys, and Cody. They're probably the top four right now. Josh this is his chance to be like, maybe it's like you got three of them are much more established.
Yes.
James, Jay, David. And then that fourth spot, I feel at this point belongs to Cody.
Yep.
That's just Josh's way of saying, no, put me in the top bracket of these guys.
Slot himself in.
Yeah. And it's not to say those are the only guys in the weight class, but I think the top four is becoming quite firmly established. So, we saw James and Jay the other week. Jay back in form, looked great.
Yeah.
So this is a really interesting fight for sort of the future of this weight class and what this weight class is going to look like for the rest of the year.
Yeah, nice. Excellent. Cool. I think we'll leave that there for most of the top fights. There's a lot more other fights on that one. But I got to go soon.
I can do a little... tell me what you want to hear about. And I can do
little breakdown.
Supplementary videos or just fucking come say hi at the show.
So it'll be around, like I said, maybe donuts or something.
Yeah, like come buy a donut or a cookie.
A cookie, yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Fit healthy cookies. Yeah, get that. All right, cool. And I'll do us for this week, eh? So thanks again for listening in. So you know what to do. You're listening on the YouTube. Subscribe to it, like it, and Spotify, Apple Podcasts. 5-star reviews, please.
Yeah,
all of it helps.
5 stars. Also, I know we've been a little bit sporadic. If you ever feel I missed anything, send your questions through. I'll cover them. It's just that sometimes by the time we've got our hour, or as you know, I'm not really good at staying on time. We can't always cover anything, but I'm going to start. If you feel I missed a question or there's something you want to hear about, just send me a message and we'll start to get we'll make sure everything gets covered. So just hit me up with your questions, anything you want to know, and I'll get some videos done this week.
Sweet. Cool. All right. Other than that, guys, we'll catch you next time.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.